Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. Today I'm here to do a giveaway to celebrate my channel reaching 1,000 subscribers. I really have you to thank for that. It was a lovely like Christmas, New Year's present that came around when I saw it getting up to it was like $9.99. I was like, oh man, so close. So it was really nice to get to that milestone. And in order to celebrate, I thought I would talk a little bit about my channel, where it's been, where I think I'm going with it, and also to do a giveaway. So let's cut right to the chase to talk about the giveaway. If you want to enter, I'm going to be giving away two $20 gift certificates to Amazon. So you can use that however you want, buy books, audiobooks, or whatever. You know, there's a lot of stuff on Amazon. I was thinking that's not very creative, but it is kind of like an easy thing to do and to get it to you. So, you know, what can I say? I'm going with the convenience. So all you have to do to enter my giveaway is to write a comment below. You could just say hi. You can maybe give me a suggestion about where you would like to see my channel go in the new year, or just, I don't know, write giveaway. And I will enter your name into a drawing, and I will choose two. So I'll give that a few days and do the drawing. Probably, maybe I'll even give it a week. So one way that you might want to keep up with me, just a suggestion, is to follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram versus like Twitter or Facebook. So I'm going to put my channel there below. It's Ex Libris Regina. Just follow me and I will keep you up to date on the drawing and other things. So I thought I would reflect a little bit today on having a channel for, it hasn't been 2 years, it'll be 2 years in the summer. So before I even started thinking about having my own booktube channel, of course I watched other people's channels. It just looked like a lot of fun, and I just kind of wanted to play along. You know, it really came out of just that impulse. And something I always felt about booktube, especially like the horror booktubers, it almost felt like I was back when I was a kid in the 70s, and I would, one of my favorite things was on Saturday nights to watch Creature Feature. Now, Creature Feature was a television program with a horror host. Now I can't remember his name, but I remember what he looks like. I will put it here. It was that kind of, you know, creepy but fun tradition, and you've seen that in a lot of horror hosts. But that was the one that I remember watching as a kid. And it was on Saturday night. And it was really like B horror movies, which I think also is why I have a great love for like that kind of tacky horror film and book. Just as it's sort of like a nostalgic experience for me. And I think that's why I just really still kind of gravitate towards that schlocky horror. And when I say schlocky, I mean it that lovingly. Like I love that kind of B movie horror. And I know I'm not the only one. And of course the, you know, paperbacks from hell type of horror books. Now, when we were kids, and I may have told this story before, I lived in a rural area and we did not have cable TV. There was no cable TV back then. There was like 3 channels plus UHF. And in our house, in order to get, we kind of lived in like the valley of a mountain. In order to get UHF, we had to take the TV, we had like a black and white TV, we had to take it up in the attic, and it was like a real attic, like a scary attic, and later it got converted into my bedroom and that I share with my sister. But at that time it was like, you know, raw beams and broken plaster, and we had a kind of a playroom set up there that was pretty fun, and I used to go up there and read my my Addams Family books, you know, the original cartoon books, which I wish I'd kept them, and we just read them to death, but they were like the original books. They're great, probably worth something today. But we did enjoy them, so I guess that's what counts. But anyway, in order to watch Creature Feature, we had to haul the TV up into the attic, and it would come on like Saturday night, probably pretty late. I don't remember exactly what time, but the only way we could watch is if one of us held onto the antenna, and we would do it in shifts. And I remember my cousin Billy, who was older than us, who maybe is a little bit of an inspiration for Sebastian because he was very sadistic. He was a teenager and we were little kids, and he would, he would sit there like a king and eat all the popcorn while we would stand there and hold the antenna like till we were about to pass out. It was really kind of funny. But I do remember that's how we would watch TV. So, now I can lay in my bed like a queen and, go through Netflix and Shudder and YouTube and everything. But I do still hold a little bit of the nostalgia for the charm of actually having to work that hard to watch something like that. That just shows how committed we were to horror. Now, my other siblings never quite got the bug that I did, but I just never kind of let go of that feeling that I got from watching Creature Feature. Another thing that I loved, and my older sister and I really got into, was a radio program called Dr. Demento, which is where Weird Al got his start, I believe. But Dr. Demento, and this was before the show was like a syndicated show. I forget where it came out of, but one time we actually got through to Dr. Demento live on on the telephone and did a request. And I mean, we were so excited. I can't tell you how thrilling that was. And we had like one of those old tape recorders, so we taped it while we made the call. So we had it on tape and we would listen to it. And we requested a Spike Jones song. I remember that. So I guess I'm going down memory lane because that is kind of the way BookTube, especially the horror BookTubers, made me feel when I was watching it. Like, these were people that I could actually like call. Well, in this case, it would be more like comment or connect on Twitter or Instagram, or send an email to, and you would actually reach a real person. And, you felt that you actually got to know this person. So that is kind of what BookTube meant for me when I was just watching, and also what it means to me now that I have my own channel. So when I started my channel, the one thing I did kind of set out to do is do something fun that was kind of reminiscent of what I used to feel when I would watch Creature Feature or listen to Dr. Demento. Just something that's a little nerdy and fun, but also very positive, and or maybe you can reconnect with those old feelings that you got from reading horror comics or watching old movies or this kind of thing. So today I wanted to just take a moment to acknowledge some of my favorite booktubers. Now, I know I'm going to leave some people out, and as I was going through this list, I was like, God, I could just keep going. But I will get to them eventually. If I didn't get you in this round, I'll get you next time when I do a shout out, I promise. But these are the people that I always watch every time they put something on BookTube. And this is usually more skewing towards the more horror people. But not all. This is no secret, and I have mentioned his channel a lot, and that is Grumpy Andrew's Horror House. Now, Andrew's a great guy. We've actually conversed on Twitter, and he won one of my giveaways, and I sent him a couple books. He's a lovely, lovely English gent, and he's really, really smart, and he gives great, mostly movie reviews, but he also does books. In fact, I found Andrew's channel when I had, and this was a while ago, I had read Clive Barker's The Scarlet Gospels and was really sadly disappointed in it. And I was just, as you do when you read something, you want to see what other people think. And I found Andrew's review, and he was equally disappointed. And I felt a connection with him over our disappointment of Clive Barker's book. But he's got great, great videos. He's really funny. So definitely check him out. The lovely Alex from Hey Little Thrifter, I've mentioned her many times. She's one of my favorites. She's a beautiful English lady living in the States. She has a wonderful collection of paperbacks from hell. She's got a great sense of humor. She's lovely, and she's very positive. Jason from Jason's Weird Reads. I've also talked about him a lot on my channel. He was one of the first booktubers to reach out when I started and made me feel like welcome to the community. And I do feel like when I've communicated with Jason on Twitter or whatever, that or on Voxer, that I do know him, and it's a nice feeling. He's got a great collection. He's introduced me to a lot of new writers and some fantasy writers. And I always end up spending lots of money on Amazon after watching his videos. So that comes with a warning. Harpies in the Trees, the lovely Merce, an American living in Berlin. She's got a wonderful channel. It's relatively new, and it just keeps getting better and better. She also has a lot of more of the newer horror books that moving forward into the new year, I like to read newer horror books just for a change of pace. So I check out her channel to get the latest newer stuff. Paperback Junky, Matt. Matt lives in the desert, I think it's in California, with his wife and his dogs. And there's just something just so great about his personality. He posts long videos, so that here, I like to put his on like if I'm driving or something. And he just kind of talks about the books he's reading, what he's doing. He's also a really good writer. So I always enjoy his take on things. I just feel like it's coming from a really honest place, and that he doesn't really give a damn in a way, like in a good way. Like he's just like, this is what I'm reading, and this is what I'm doing. I'm sitting out on my lawn chair in the desert, with my dogs. It's great. He's really, really awesome. The Bald Book Geek, that would be Will, is another English gentleman. He doesn't do as much horror, but I've gotten a lot of great tips for fantasy books from his channel. I've been watching his channel for years, and I just really like his take on things. Anytime there's any kind of drama, he'll talk about that a little bit, and he's not afraid to speak his mind, and I just always really enjoy watching his videos. And he just kind of does it from his bedroom, and it's very laid back, but he speaks very honestly about the books he reads. Like I can tell he means what he says, and he's not afraid to express a negative opinion. So that's refreshing. Paperback Mania. Paperback Mania is like my go-to for like these kind of horror books, these paperbacks from hell. He finds the best books like out in the wild, and he just reports on his hauls, basically. He has a really great delivery and funny. It's inspiring to see what kind of books he finds, and I'm always like looking for those books when I go out on the hunt. I feel like he's like the master hunter of paperbacks from hell. Steve Donoghue. He's not so much interested in horror, but he is kind of like the elder statesman of BookTube. He's almost like a professor who's doing like an incessant lecture that you can leave and then come back, and he's still doing it because he posts like at least once a day, I believe. And as I would a good professor, I feel like I always learn something from him. He reads a lot, and he also is a writer and editor, and he is also not afraid to express his opinion, and everyone seems to know him, and he's just kind of like fun to just see what he's doing. One of my favorites, of course, Cameron Chaney. Cameron Chaney's Library Macabre, which I just saw on Instagram. I think that he's moving to a different place, which I imagine is like a huge job because he has so many books and beautiful, beautiful collection, an incredible library. And when he does his library tours, my mouth just drops open. I can't believe the books that he has and the incredible collections. And he just seems like a really sweet guy. And he's a really good writer. And I've read a couple of his books. And we've chatted a bit. And Batilda is a big fan as well. Rachel from the Shades of Orange, she always has like a really good newer books that she puts up and reviews. And she's a pretty popular booktuber. She works really hard. She always has like new books that I haven't not read that I'm like, I have to read that. So I always look at her channel for like newer recommendations. The Book Dweller, Chuck, has a lot of great books and a lot of great knowledge about those books. His channel's pretty new, so I highly recommend that you check out his channel if you're really interested in these like older horror paperbacks and just want to know more about the genre. He's a great source. Another one, along the same lines, Written in Blood. He does a lot of book and film reviews, and he also knows his stuff. A really good source for that type of, that 80s style horror, but also great in movie reviews. Edward Lorn is a very hard-working booktuber. Always seems to be posting a video, or he's very active on Twitter, and he's sent me a few books. He's a great guy, great writer. We've read a couple of his books, very talented, and he's just really fun to listen to his reviews, and very opinionated about books in a very refreshing way. I can tell he's not afraid to speak his mind. It's very fun to watch his channel. Typical books. Lydia, her channel is great. I feel like she's like a sister. You know, she lives in Canada, and I never met her, but I feel like I would be friends with her if I knew her. I really like her take on horror. I like her delivery. She has kind of that spooky vibe going on, and I've also picked up on a couple really great newer books from her channel. And last but not least, a small booktube channel that deserves a lot more love, and that's Paul Reads Books. Paul has a lot of Stephen King books that he talks about, and he also does like health vlogs, which I'm very interested in. I started doing that myself when I first started my channel. I mean, not like diet stuff, but like I did a couple vlogs about like my hikes. I may do a few more of those in the new year. So I guess that's all I have for today. I rambled a bit, but I wanted to thank you all for coming to my haunted library. It's been really fun, and I'm looking forward to more interactions with all of you guys in the new year. So don't forget to leave a comment to enter the giveaway, and thanks for stopping by my haunted library. I will see you soon. Bye.